We're at the height of Kipper season, and I've decided to come and work Heathrow Airport today. So what's Kipper season? Kipper season is the quiet time of year, that January sort of lull after Christmas, when everyone's feeling a bit deflated and they haven't got any money because they've got the credit card bills coming in, where they've overspent over Christmas, overeaten over Christmas, and they've drunk too much over Christmas. Not me, I didn't have a drink over Christmas. I've gone off of alcohol at the moment for some reason. I've never really been a big drinker, not since I was a teenager anyway. So I've decided to come and work Heathrow Airport, and I'm not really expecting much, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a long wait in the feeder park, and I don't know what jobs we'll get, or I will get, but I'm taking you along for the ride. But it'll probably be a lot of sitting around and waiting. And in previous videos people have said, is it worth it? And that's a very good question. Is it worth it? Now, a lot of cab drivers tend to take time off at this time of year, maybe go on holiday, go to sunnier climes. I can't afford to do that, not at the moment. So I'm working. I haven't worked a lot through January. I've been doing other bits and pieces. I've been trying to build up websites for my tours and get things optimised on those. But enough of that. So we're coming around towards the feeder park. And I really don't know how today's gonna go. As I say, I'm not expecting much, but there's an old saying, you've got to be in it to win it, and if you're not in it, you're definitely not going to win it. But then, will we win it today, or will we bum out? Who knows? Who knows? But you can't just sit at home and twiddle your thumbs and do nothing. I always find the longer I have off work, the harder it is to come back. Not just financially, but the harder it is to actually get back in the cab and motivate yourself to go back to work. So you've got to get in the cab and go out and probably do longer hours for less money. And that's the crux of it, really, is you're doing longer hours for less money, and that's never good. I'm just coming around the perimeter road towards the feeder park. Seem to be quite a few cabs coming out of the feeder park, and they're going to turn left into Neptune Way. I think it's Neptune Way. It's either Neptune Way or Neptune Road anyway. I wonder what the police are wanting coming around this way. Neptune Road it is. We're going to turn left into Neptune Road, and we're going to turn right into Newell Road, and then thankfully there is no queue on Newell Road, so we can go straight into the North Feeder Park, which is where we're turning left now. And then it's quite full, the North Feeder Park, so I'm expecting to do quite some time over here before actually moving across into the South Feeder Park. There's only a couple of lanes empty. That's never a good sign, to be honest. But anyway, I've got things to do while I'm here anyway, so we're going to park up and just wait basically. So I'll see you as we move over. Right, so we're finally moving over from the North Feeder Park to the South Feeder Park after an hour and 35 minutes wait. So it's going to be very slow here today. Very, very slow. So, as I said earlier, I'm not expecting too much. Not great, is it? It's that time of year though. You know, you've got to take the rough with the smooth, and this is definitely the rough end of the stick. Not great when it's that time of year when you've got to pay your tax bill as well. So we're in, and we're in Group 1. So we can keep an eye on the board inside the canteen if I decide to go in there as to what group is actually going out. So we've got to wait for the line to move up, and then we can park up for what's probably going to be another hour and a half. At least it isn't too cold out here today. It's 10 degrees centigrade. So it's not as cold as it has been. Well, it's been down to like 1 or 2 degrees. Hopefully the warmer weather's starting to come now. Right, finally parked up in the South Feeder Park after 2 hours. 2 hours! Can you believe it? 2 hours. And I'm going over to the canteen to use the toilet and see what culinary delights they've got on offer over there. So see you soon. Right, we're finally on the move after 4 hours and 21 minutes. I was hoping to do 2 jobs out of here today, and this is the reality of the Kipper season. It's pretty dire, to be honest. So I'm just moving around to the reader. I've got to stop saying so. I was listening to a podcast this morning about making YouTube videos actually, and one of the things they were saying was, you know, saying and so, and I do all of those things. Right, let's see what I get. Terminal 5. Could be worse. I don't mind Terminal 5. Right, so I'm definitely not going to get another job out of here. I'm not going to be coming back to Heathrow today. By the time I get round to Terminal 5 and get a job, I would have done about 5 hours waiting for a job at Heathrow. By the time I get around to Terminal 5 and get a job, I would have done close on 5 hours before I actually get a job from here. 5 hours. That's the sort of times they were doing out here as the pandemic sort of struck. Not good. In actual fact, it's a bit worrying. Especially after deciding to buy this new cab. Yeah. But things could be worse. Over the past year or so, I've always found Wednesdays to be the worst day at Heathrow Airport, and just so happens to be the day that I've decided to come out here. Wednesday. So I don't think I'll be coming back here today. I was hoping to get 2 jobs out of Heathrow today, but by the time I get to Terminal 5, get a job, hopefully it's going into central London or further. It's going to be well gone 6 o'clock, and by the time I get back here it'll be 7 o'clock. and if I did another 4 hours, it'd be touch and go as to whether I would actually get another job. What they call blowout time, where you could end up leaving the airport without a job, unless you're one of those drivers that wants to sleep at the airport, and that really is not me, to be honest. I don't want to sleep out here. I've done that once or twice before, back in the early 90s, and I've got to be honest, it really is not a bit of me. So I'm not set up for sleeping out here. I really don't want to do it. So it looks like this is going to be the one and only job out of here today, which means it's going to be a pretty poor day unless I get a really exceptional job. I'm at Terminal 5, sitting on the buffer. The buffer, they call it. That's before you actually go round and onto the terminal. Because Terminal 5 is so far from the feeder park, there's like a buffer before you actually go round onto the actual terminal. Sometimes you can sit here for about half an hour. Cheers, mate. Oh, cheers, thank you. Happy in your work. Right, let's make our way down onto the terminal rank. Let's hope we get a really good job, eh? Need a miracle today to make today a half decent day. Otherwise, sometimes it feels like you've come out to work for nothing. Right, so here we go. We're just moving down towards the rank on Terminal 5 and then waiting for passengers to come out of the terminal. Slow dribble of passengers coming through and slowly moving up the taxi rank on Terminal 5. Just waiting for a job now. Slowly moving up. Until we become the second cab on the rank. The cab in front gets a job, and then I get a job, and the guy wants to go to Beaconsfield, which is up off of the M40. It's a price job as it's outside of the Metropolitan Police area, so we're going to leave this by leaving Terminal 5, heading over the M25 and swinging round onto the M25, heading in the clockwise direction, up and turn left onto the M40, come off at Beaconsfield, underneath the M40 and then up on the A roads. And to be honest, I haven't got a clue where I'm going now because I'm just following the sat nav. Interesting thing, I'd actually picked this guy up before and taken him home to Beaconsfield. So there you go. So that wasn't a bad job. Didn't go into central London. Went to Beaconsfield, which is a fixed price job. You can see it on the boards at Heathrow. It's £85. Quite funnily, I'd actually picked the guy up before last year at some point. Can't remember when last year, when I was out at the airport and taking him home to Beaconsfield then. So by the time I would have got back to Heathrow, it would have been about 7 o'clock. Just gone 7 o'clock. Now looking on the WhatsApp groups, they were still doing 4 hours wait time at Heathrow, which means 7 o'clock means I wouldn't have been leaving the feeder park until 11 o'clock. Now that is what they call blowout time, when it's likely that you may end up leaving the airport without a job. So this is the reality of the work in Heathrow Airport during the Kipper season. And in respect, it's probably my own fault today for getting to the airport at 1 o'clock today. I mean, normally if I get there about that time, any other time of year, then I could do one job, go back and do another job, and then do a couple of little jobs in town, which makes me money up and then come home. Really, I should have got up earlier and left home earlier and got to the airport in the morning, and I would have managed to get 2 jobs in. As I say, you pays your money, you takes your chances, and today wasn't a good day.